So apparently the DoorDash girl from TikTok is facing 8 years in prison because she got caught lying about her viral story. Now, look, I don't know how she got caught lying, but if she got caught lying, she deserves every single second of the time she's going to get.
They just fired me, and the police are doing nothing.
Good.
I lost my job. That was my only way to make money to pay my bills.
Good.
This TikTok DoorDash driver just went from viral victim to felony defendant after she came online, saying that she was essayed on the job, and now she's facing years in prison for the video that she posted herself.
3 days ago, October 12th, 2025, I was a victim of SA by a DoorDash customer while I was doing my job as a DoorDash driver.
Okay, that's a great start. Now, please go into detail about how you were assaulted, right? Assaulted, by the way.
DoorDash customer requested that their order be left at their front door. Their front door was wide open. Their lights were on. They were sleeping on the couch within eyesight of the front door with their pants and underwear pulled down to their ankles, and they were indecently exposed to me.
Well,
it's crazy, bro. The man was unconscious. They wanted the man to get an assault charge while he was unconscious. Just think about that world. And instead of her seeing him in this moment, this vulnerable moment, we all are humans. We all have these moments where we're not caught in our best light. Instead of her saying, ooh, oh, my bad, I'm just going to walk away, set the food down. You know how you peek in, my bad, get up out of there, right? She takes out her phone, takes a picture of a man in probably one of his worst moments, and posts it online. You're a weirdo. Yeah, because that's weird human behavior. Who thinks to do that when you catch somebody in a bad moment? And it's because she desperately wants to be a victim. There are people who desperately want to be a victim so bad because being a victim gets you likes and clicks, which turns into money. And we created this culture. We created a culture where people want to be victims because it gets them attention and likes and money. It's crazy.
Well, as it turns out, that's not exactly what happened. If you need a perfect example of how fast a viral victim story can flip upside down, this is it. Because this video was posted in mid-October by Olivia Henderson, or IRL Monster Hideall on TikTok. And she went viral pretty fast as a DoorDash driver who claimed that she was essayed on the job. And now, as of last week, she's been arrested, charged with 2 felonies, and could be facing years in prison. And depending on who you ask, she's either a woman who reported a traumatic event or someone who turned a drunk sleeping customer into content and then lied about it for clout.
Oh, no. Oh, this is beyond clout. She tried to ruin his life. This isn't just a lie for clout. She tried to ruin his life. She tried to make his family and friends look at him differently forever. She tried to make it so that he has a sexual charge on his record so that if he went to go apply for a job, that just wasn't going to happen for him. That was going to be on his record forever and his digital footprint. That's what she tried to do. We can't keep acting like these types of stories are just innocent. Yeah, she tried to ruin his life. And I think people who do this type of stuff needs to be on a list. Yeah, just like people who commit sexual crimes should be on a list. People who lie to get other people put away, maybe it's because they're angry, maybe it's because they want attention or clout, whatever their motivation may be. If you lie to try to destroy a person's life, you should be put on a list. When you come into my neighborhood, my wife needs to know that you're the type of person that does stuff like that. For my sake, for the family's sake, for the neighborhood's sake. When you go to apply for a job, every coworker in that office should be allowed to know that you're that type of person. You're the person, the type to do that type of stuff. These types of lies have to be dealt with in a way. If I was that man, I would try to sue her into indentured servitude. Because I can't harm, because I am not willing to harm you. I'm more civil than that. I am going to sue you into indentured servitude. You purposely tried to mischaracterize this man and destroy his life for attention. That's something that we have to stop acting like isn't a big deal. And there's a lot of people that do this type of stuff and they do it and get away with it because there is no real punishment for it. So I'm hoping that she actually gets a punishment. We have to stop acting like this is benign behavior. This is genuinely evil to do stuff like this to people.
I did it to DoorDash, and DoorDash did ban the customer. And then 2 days later, DoorDash banned me, which doesn't seem unrelated. They didn't even provide me a reason for my deactivation. They're supposed to send an email. They didn't. And
well, maybe it's because you posted somebody's naked body online for the world to see, which is it's illegal, by the way. You can't do that. Filming into somebody's home, that's pretty sure there's some law against that.
And 12 hours afterward, they had already denied my appeal. DoorDash deactivated me. DoorDash punished me for exposing my assaulter, and TikTok is currently punishing me for exposing my story time. I also reported
and you know what she's doing with this? I'm exposing my assaulter. She's trying to play the victim, and she's appealing to a female audience and to a white knight audience that want to come to her rescue and try to act like we have to believe all women women, and this is the exact reason why we can't do that in society. And so some of these people will say we're in like a rape culture, and I'll be like, I don't believe that that's true. And their only solution to that culture that we live in, where people just allow this types of stuff to happen to women, which I don't think we live in that culture anyway, but either way, their only solution is to believe every single woman who comes up with the accusation ever. But unfortunately, there are just so many women that lie about situations like this. She's trying to claim that she was sexually assaulted. That can't be taken lightly, bro. Why do people act like that's a light accusation on somebody?
The police are doing nothing. I was assaulted. I lost my job. I'm the victim.
Yeesh. So this whole thing just starts back in October 20th in Oswego, New York. Olivia was delivering an order for DoorDash, and according to her, the customer had asked for the food to be left at the front door. She said that she walked up to the house and found the front door wide open, lights on, and the customer lying on his couch with his pants and underwear pulled down to his ankles. She described him as fully exposed and said that she'd been put in danger simply by doing her job.
But the thing didn't say take out your phone and take a picture of me while I'm in my house. I think it said just leave the food at the door. That was an option too. You could have just left the food at the door instead of trying to like appeal to a parasocial audience that you're trying to build online. You could like been a human and just left the food at the door and then went home.
Obviously, that's not an ideal situation to witness on the job, but it could also be explained as a guy who got super drunk, ordered some Wendy's, and then passed out before it got there. Not a great look, but I don't think it's illegal to do that, especially because he was in his own house and he wanted the order at his front door. But more on that later. So in her first series of videos, she told the story with the tone of someone who was still shaking from what happened. She said everything was caught on camera. She also said that she didn't want this to happen to any other women, which is why she came forward with this story on TikTok. And
sure, she came forward with this story because she just didn't want this to happen to any other women. That's why she came forward with this story. It's not for attention. It's not for clout, clicks, and likes. It's because she didn't want any other women affected by these bad, unconscious men that are passed out in their own home on their couch.
The video, she also reported this to DoorDash and the police, and her initial post grabbed more than 22 million views for a brief moment, and TikTok seemed ready to rally around her. But that didn't last long, because within days, TikTok removed her video for violating community guidelines, and the talk around her started changing, because she posted more videos saying that TikTok kept trying to silence her. And then she said that DoorDash fired her for reporting an incident, and she said the police were punishing her instead of helping her. So see, that seems odd when three entities are suddenly going against her at once. What's going on? One of the biggest points in
she's lying, and now she has to keep up with the lie. Stuff. After you kind of posted it the first time with the lie, you have to kind of keep up the lie. That's the worst part. Now you just a habitual liar. You just doing it over and over again. And you got to keep the story consistent. Do you understand how many male reputation and lives cameras have saved within the past 10 years?
Also, this entire story is the debate over whether Olivia actually walked up to an already open door or pushed it open herself. In the first video, she insisted the door was actually wide open when she arrived, meaning the guy on purpose left his door open for her. Thus, as she claims, he left himself exposed for her to see. But pretty fast, other creators started putting out screenshots that showed that she had quietly deleted an earlier version of that video. One that showed her nudging the door open, and the original clip was deleted, but I don't think this has anything to do with TikTok silencing her here. Because she posted a video of a dude laying there exposed on his couch in his own house. And she posted it for millions of people online to see. I don't know about you guys, but I think the video got deleted because of that.
Yeah, anytime I see people go to the world with this type of stuff before they do something like go to the police, automatic red flag, because how you gonna try to convince me that you was traumatized, but you recorded the incident? I don't know nobody that's ever been traumatized and pulled out their phone as a result and started to record. I've seen people get traumatized and run away so they don't see it no more. I've seen people get traumatized and freeze up. I've never seen somebody get traumatized, pull out their phone and record a quick video of what was traumatizing them in that moment. And the first thing they think in their brain ain't to reflect on the moment, is to record and to blast it out to the world. Come on now, that's very attention-seeking behavior.
So obviously, that's not allowed on the platform, hence why I can't show the clip here. But there were these side-by-side screenshots that started popping up of whether the door was closed or left open. Either way, dude is in his own house, so is this illegal? No. But my main question is, why is she walking around in this dude's house? Like, drop the food on the doormat, take a picture, and move on to your next order. You don't need to be Hello? There's no reason to play Resident Evil in someone's house. This whole situation doesn't make sense whatsoever. Did she just...
There are so many of them that don't make sense, that end up being lies, that you don't even get to see the backside of the story because it's not as sensational as the front part of the story. Saying somebody was assaulted by somebody is the sensational part. That's the part that gets blasted out. Once that person gets proven to be a liar, don't nobody talk about that part. That part don't get blasted out.
Makes sense whatsoever. Did she just use this as a ploy for attention?
Yeah.
How is it hard to understand to not walk into someone's house and post a video of them laying naked on their couch to millions of people on the internet? That's just so unacceptable.
Yeah, most people wouldn't even think to do that. That's why when a person does something like that, you should really question the action. Like, people have to start looking at what social media is. It takes time and effort. If somebody's making a video of themselves crying on social media, that's cringy. You made that video, you rewatched it, you might have edited it and sometimes put music behind it, and then you thought that you should post something like that. I know you don't actually have any real relationships or any real friends or any real family you could depend on, probably because you're a crazy person that ruins relationships, but you don't have any of those people, so you build parasocial relationships with people online, and you try to get sympathy from those people to build your audience around misery. And there's so many audiences like that. It's crazy.
I think one of the reasons this whole thing went so viral, other than the fact this girl's thought process is borderline crazy, is that no one could agree about the push door or was the door wide open. And I mean, I get why there's a hang up here, because if she actually, you know, pushed the door open to record a guy just laying there in his house and then, you know, turned herself into the victim, she's insane. And then we for sure have another member of the Hall of Fame of Influencer Morons. At this point, I need to start holding introduction ceremonies for these kinds of idiots, because I should be starting my videos like, welcome to the newest idiot who's now facing jail time for some social media content.
Thanks.
Because at this rate, I'd say a lot of my videos are kind of like that. Anyway, people were arguing about the lighting, angles, wood grain, everything. But this is where the story took a life of its own, because while she was telling millions of people that DoorDash and TikTok were trying to bury her truth, police were piecing together a version of the events that looked very different from what she originally stated online. Because eventually, the police stepped in with their own findings, citing Ring doorbell footage that reportedly showed her opening the door herself.
Oh, man.
Why did you do that? So
you didn't told on yourself, you dummy. You were so desperate for attention, you told on yourself, dummy. You could have did all of that and got away with it, but then you wanted to blast it online. It got more views than you was expecting. It turned into a viral debate, and people wanted answers, and now you on Front Street because you made yourself a celebrity. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, they got her.
Sir, I have your DoorDash. Oh, ew! I'm a victim!
Number one, why would you ever do this to begin with? And number two, why would you do this when there's a Ring doorbell camera right there next to the door that you're opening? Like, did you not think he was going to review the footage?
That is the best Ring ad ever. Ring, do your thing. Get him on an ad.
After
his life.
You exposed him to millions of people online with his pants down. What did you think was going to happen? Either way, according to the police in Oswego, the man in the video was not sitting there waiting to expose himself to the delivery driver. He was sleeping and drunk, lying on his couch with no idea what was going on. And thankfully for him, the doorbell camera footage reportedly showed her opening the door herself, which does not add up with her story. So DoorDash then finally responded with its own statement. Without naming her, they said they take these kind of reports extremely seriously, and they never deactivate someone for reporting it, full stop. But they said that posting the video of a customer inside of their home along with their personal details was a clear violation of their policies. They said that was the reason her account was deactivated, and they deactivated the customer's account too while they were investigating. And they also added that she still had full access to her money. Then everything hit a wall on November 10th, because that's when officers arrested Olivia Henderson and charged her with 2 counts of Class E felonies, unlawful surveillance and dissemination of an unlawful surveillance image. And these charges usually apply to people who secretly record others in private settings, bathrooms, bedrooms, changing rooms, that kind of thing. But the legal idea is the same. Recording someone inside of their home when they have an expectation of privacy is criminal.
Is there not like a sexual charge for that also? It's not just recording him. He was in the nude. Is there not some type of other charge for that too?
If the camera is technically outside of the door. Police said that she filmed a sleeping person and posted it publicly, which is exactly what these laws are written for. So the bottom line is, police found no proof of SA, and the man was asleep. And Olivia admitted the instructions for her order said to leave the food at the door, not inside of the home as she filmed. Her last TikTok was posted on October 26th, right after she said that she was being punished for reporting what happened. After the arrest, she didn't post anything at all. No defense, no clarification, no follow-up about what she plans to say in court. Her current next hearing is on December 4th, and depending on how the judge sees all the evidence, she could be looking at a whole lot of time here. And this can range from probation to years in state prison.
She's going to get a probation, and this is why it's going to continue to happen, because there is no punishment for this type of behavior. There is no punishment about a woman just completely making and fabricating a story, making it up to put it online to get attention. And I know people like to live in La La Land where you are called an evil man for saying that there are bad women that will lie about things like this, but it's just true. It happens all the time. We catch it at least 4 or 5 of them each year, big cases. So imagine all the little ones that nobody even cares about. This happens multiple times. Happens all the time. And people just try to act like we have to live in a society where we act like it doesn't happen and just allow these people to just rampage. And it's like, no. Punish these people with the reasonable charge that actually fits the damage that they're doing to the person if their act is completed. They're literally trying to ruin people's lives. This should come with a big punishment. Like, people take it lightly. Hey, pack them up. Put him in the big house.
Because it looks like a Class E felony in New York can carry up to 4 years. And she's charged with 2 Class E felonies. So that could be a combined maximum of 8 years in prison. Either way, it's no longer a he said, she said, and it's definitely not a conspiracy that TikTok doesn't want you to hear about. This is a criminal case with evidence and surveillance footage that was provided by the perpetrator. Yet again, for clout. How does this keep on happening? No, obviously, gig workers deal with real risks every day. Yes, women face real threats with entering private spaces.
Of course, you don't have to do the disclaimer. Yeah, we all know that, bro. That's like, why anytime you gotta talk about horrible people who are doing horrible things, you have to, as a man, try to give a disclaimer. Like, well, it's not all. Of course, it's not all women. Duh. Nobody ever said that. You don't have to get that disclaimer every time you're discussing something that one horrible woman did.
And yes, some companies have absolutely punished workers for speaking up. But if you film someone in their own home, post it online, accuse them of a crime that the police say never happened, and then you claim that you're being silenced when the platform you're on takes you down, you're in for it.
I was working. I was literally working, and they deactivated me. This is related. They just punished me for posting about my while door dashing. They just fired me, and the police are doing nothing. I lost my job. That was my only way to make money to pay my bills.
I'm just saying.
She started to look like Bob the Tomato. Bob the Tomato from VeggieTales.
My job. That was my only way to make money.
Whoa. Calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the knife. But remember what I was talking about earlier, though, right? There's only 2 ways this can go. Think about it from a content creator's perspective, right? Because that's how I see this. There's only 2 ways this can go. She knows she's lying. So first of all, we know she's an actor. She's acting right now. She knows she's lying. So while she's recording this, doing all this ranting, raving, crying, screaming, red in the face, she's lying. There's only 1 or 2 ways this could have ended. When she was done recording this video, either she was like this, when she posted it, or she just straightened up her face and just went, and then posted it. My bet is that it's probably the second one, because she's a liar, and that's what these types of people do. But if you think about it beyond just watching the emotion in the video and think about the type of person that would display this type of emotion, and even when they come out of that intense emotion, they still think that it's a smart idea to post this type of stuff online, you'll realize that a lot of this type of stuff is just for attention. That's what it's for. That's the whole point of it.
Pay my bills.
I'm just saying, that's not advocacy. That's just clout chasing. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens in December, and I'll keep you guys posted as more details come out. So feel free to subscribe if you're new, drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Absolutely insane. And this is just the culture that we've created, man. Just people that are willing to destroy the lives of other people for victimhood status and attention. It's crazy. Let me know in the comments below if this video is a W or L, and give me the HBO special. That's a Help a Brother Out special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.